Okay, looks like it's done. You can see it's kind of crispy. And today we're going to make some, we call them roll-ups, bacon, venison, goose. It's kind of a wild game dinner. It's not a big process, but it is a process. First thing I did was defrost all the venison. We're going to do venison today, so. And then we'll cube them up. The next procedure is first of all, start with a sharp knife. I just trim all of the fat and tallow off of. This is venison. We do this with goose and duck, obviously. I actually shot some hogs in Oklahoma. I made it out of that too. Depending on how big you want the cubes, I'll make them about an inch, inch and a half square. Gotta take all the tallow off, cut them into a cube. Here's some bigger cubes. Venison is a real lean meat, so it is dry. What we're eventually going to do is we're going to season them, marinate them, and then wrap them with bacon. Bacon adds a little bit of, well, not just flavor, but also, like I say, venison and a lot of wild game is really lean, as you can see, compared to a beefsteak. Venison doesn't have a lot of tallow, a lot of fat in it. It's a very flavorful meat, but like I say, it's a little bit drier. When I cook venison in a pan, I usually cook with canola oil. And marinating is good. Like I say, it's really flavorful. Sometimes it can be a little dry, but the key to venison and all wild game is don't cook too long. Just when it turns from red to pink and it's just about done, take it out of the pan. It's very good, very good. Now here you can see I've got all of the trimmings. This is what I'm going to wrap up in bacon. First I'm going to marinate it, and I'll show you that. But here's the deal, okay? We got scraps. And I just happen to have myself a lamb. She earns her pay with goose and duck, not deer, obviously. But, sit. He's a good girl. Are you hungry? You stay. Okay. So, we don't let the trimming. Okay, so we got all the meat cubed up. Now there's a lot of people that like to use a spoon and a ladle, but I believe in cleanliness. I always wash my hands. Actually, I just wash my hands now. And here's an array of spices. You know, it really doesn't make any difference. Whatever your flavor. If you don't like garlic, then don't use garlic. There, I got garlic and herb. If you don't like a little chili powder, don't go with that. Actually, I have a little bit of hot sauce, salsa panati. But the first thing I'll do is, takes care of the dryness of venison. I'll put in, I don't know, quarter cup, half a cup. And like I say, just mix it up a little bit. You can see got some oil. Clean oil, so I'm not too worried about my hands getting dirty. But whenever you work with any game or round tables, wash your hands all the time. I'm going to take a little bit of hot sauce and just dribble a little bit here. I like a little bit of chili powder. Not enough to overcome the flavor, but just enough to kind of accent. Got some garlic and herb powder. Mix that in there. I love Lawry's. It's a poor man's seasoning, but it's got a really good flavor. Worcestershire sauce gives a little bit. Actually, that's just about done. And I'll put a little celery seed. Okay. Nothing wrong with ketchup. Actually, you can use brown sugar. You can use regular sugar. In fact, I'm going to do that. I'm going to throw a couple tablespoons of just sugar, because sugar not only sweetens up the meat, but a lot of this gives it flavor, but it also works into the meat and enhances the tenderness. It's all seasoning. So I'm going to put a couple of teaspoons actually of sugar. With the ketchup, if I had brown sugar here, I don't put that in. So you know, the recipe is kind of due to everybody's individual taste. So I'm just going to take all that and I'm going to mix it up really good. So all that seasoning kind of works into the meat. Now the marinade, I like to marinate it for 2 to 4 hours. In this case, it's going to marinate for about 6 hours. Overnight marinade's great. A lot of the jerky that I make is an overnight marinade. And you know what? Gotta pass a sniff test. Oh, it's got a good aroma. Part of cooking is having something, you know, when you walk into a house and you're going like, oh, something's in the oven, it smells good. Well, hate to tell you, but the good smell of food is what enters the belly the best. So, well, I'm just going to put aluminum foil, kind of my lifeline to marinating and cooking. I use a lot of tin foil. This is just a shallow pan. This is serving for about maybe, that's for probably 4 people. My weight works, so I make sure that that's what's good tomorrow. So I'm going to take that and put in the refrigerator. Make sure that it is refrigerated. You do not want to marinate outside the refrigerator. And in 4 to 5 hours, we'll get it ready with some bacon and make some rollups. Okay, so we've marinated for a couple of hours. Actually, I'm going to kind of get a jump start on things. Now, I get bacon, and you know what? I get the cheapest bacon out there, because actually what you're looking for is the smoke, the flavor, and the fat. So when you buy bacon, you want less fat. Well, the good part about this roll-up is most of the fat cooks away. So what I'm going to do is I cut off about maybe a third, just a little bit over a third. I'm going to use these bacon pieces to wrap up the venison. So I'll just peel off a few here. Actually, I pulled out 4 here real quick. Then I got some toothpicks, and you can actually get by if you're really cheap like me. And just take one of these pieces of bacon, you put a roll up. You can see I took them out of this marinade here and washed all my stuff, obviously, and just wrap that around there. The bacon or the toothpick is just to hold the bacon on your roll-up. You can roll that little puppy up like that there. Put another toothpick on. I am being cheap because I checked and looked and I only have a few toothpicks. Generally, I will use a whole toothpick. I'm not that cheap. There you go. Get another one here. Now, for the benefit of the video, I'm going to obviously get all these done here. But that's kind of what you end up with. Now, in this case, what I'm going to do is I marinated these for 2 hours. I'm going to place all these back in my pan. I'm going to cover them in the refrigerator. Remember, keep everything cool, keep everything covered, and I'll marinate them again for probably 4 or 5 hours after I get all of these wrapped in bacon. And then, in this case, because it's winter, it's really cold outside, I'm not going to fire up the grill. You can grill them, you can smoke them, you can broil them, and I hate to tell you, but even with the toothpicks in, you can pan fry them if you want, cover them pan fry. And the toothpicks actually get a little bit toasted or brown, but you just pull them out. And it's a great hors d'oeuvre, it's a great meal, and it's a good way to utilize your venison. Pork, goose, duck, pretty much any wild game. I've done pheasants, I've done hog, wild hog out of Oklahoma, and all of the deer that we shoot. We do, we just venison roll-ups, whatever. It's a dynamite recipe, and it's a dynamite meal. So as you see, we've got all of the roll-ups already, and I'm just packing them back in here in this pan. There's still some sauce in there. I only used about, probably half a pound of bacon, so I've got some more left for the next batch. Yeah, it's tedious, but you know, I'm retired. Been a very long time ago. When you're working, you got all kinds of money. You don't got a lot of time. And when you retire, you got all kinds of time and not a lot of money. So to put a good dinner on the table, look at here. I got 2 toothpicks left. That's great. So I'll put this back in the refrigerator, and we're gonna let that marinate. I'm excited, actually. I'm gonna let it marinate for, now when I'm all done, I can whip the flavor off the fingers. Let that marinate for another 3 or 4 hours, and then in this case I'm gonna broil it in the oven, and you can use your oven to broil. Okay, our roll-ups are ready to throw in the oven. It's dinner time. They've been marinating. I've got baked potatoes baking here for about 6 minutes left. I'm going to cook these at probably about broiling 3 minutes per side. So I'm going to throw in the broiler, about 4 inches, 6 inches worth in the broiler. Or like I say, you can grill. Well, these have been on for about 3 minutes, and I'm going to turn them over and broil the other side. Generally, the rule of thumb is the bacon, you'll see it'll get done. And if you like the venison, duck, whatever goose that you're making, if you like it a little bit more done, duck and goose is better well done, but I do like venison. Medium, even low, medium rare. Some people don't. So, like I say, 3 to 4, maybe even 5 minutes aside if you like it a little bit. Hey, looks like it's done. You can see it's got crispy, and it's done. And these are little buggers here. Now you can take, if you want, you can do a shish kebab and put onions, green peppers, slices of potatoes or whatever you want in them. And like I say, these are going to turn out to be, I actually did 5 minutes per side, and I don't know, it depends on the thickness of what you have. But like I say, you can usually go by the color, the bacon. You can see the bacon's kind of crispy. That gives me an idea that the meat is probably close to well done. And there's our little roll-ups right there. Tonight we'll have baked potatoes, roll-ups, pretty quick meal. If you like venison, like I said, goose, duck, any wild game. Actually, you know what? Chicken, turkey, and beef. You got a kind of a tough roast. That's pretty good.